Oh, why is this not working? Sarah, can you retry this to get it going?
Oh, the slideshow? Is it not going?
It's not going. Now it's
just
moved.
started going a second time.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody. Sure.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, there's Riley. Yay. There's my son, Robin. That's so cool. Oh God, there's my friend Wally from California. That was really fun to recruit people to fill out those forms and send in their picture.
That was a great idea.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so simple too.
Jetta and Scott, Jackie and Jim.
Hi, NIMBY. Have you recovered from your vaccine booster yet?
NIMBY's muted.
She said on Facebook that it made her feel drunk.
Oh, wow.
Okay, there it goes. Yeah, like within an hour. And then like for, I guess about the next 36 hours, I was just exhausted. I slept so much. I had some body aches. My sister is still dealing with it, and she's been down since, well, she got hers on Sunday. It didn't hit her right away, but yeah, so I don't know. But I'm still glad I did it. I just hadn't, it was worse than either of the two shots.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got mine on Saturday and had nothing, just a little sore shoulder. And I'd had Moderna before, and this was Pfizer. And I think I had more of a reaction with the Moderna, the original one.
Okay, well, I had Moderna all 3 times, you know, the first 2 and then the booster as well. So maybe that had something to do with it. And I'm a lot older than you too, Jill. I'm blaming everything on age, anything that's
You're not going to get away with that. I bet I'm older than you, but we don't have to fight about it.
Yeah, okay. It's nice to
Well,
see
I got my
everyone.
booster.
I got the
my
chills.
booster on Friday, and my arm hurt for several days afterwards, and I was a little tired, but that was about it. And it was Moderna, my 3rd Moderna.
Yeah, yeah.
I got the Moderna booster too, and I was chills, and I was like, I went to bed and like I went to bed with a sweater wrapped around me.
Did you have them originally though? Did you have Moderna originally or no?
Yeah.
I did
All
too.
3.
Yeah.
Now we had all 3. We just had our booster
Yeah, I
on
guess it's
Monday,
different for everyone.
and no problem.
Yeah.
You're special, Pam. That's why.
I like
I
it.
kept thinking of you. I was prepared, Nimby. I don't want to feel inebriated.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Ember Jars here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Just want to make sure y'all can hear us and see us. So
Yes.
Yeah,
Yay.
I hope we can do this in person next year. That would be nice.
It would be so nice.
Kathy Platt is going, yes, please. miss Nancy Johnson, don't you guys?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, every day I think of her.
Oh,
They've been saying on the news that cigarette smoking has gone back up because people, well, probably because of the isolation still and being under stress.
Hmm.
huh.
But nothing is going to make me start smoking. Nothing.
I never did. I'm not going to start now.
No, no way.
Although I may have had a little more wine than normal this last year, but okay.
Judy, I like your hair.
She's frozen.
That's okay.
It is cute.
Uh-huh.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's getting long. Thanks. There's Ruby. Well, they keep coming so far, 32.
Great.
Oh, great.
Wonderful.
Does that bring back memories?
I know that Pam Whitcliffe is coming from another meeting she said she'd be a few minutes late, but she'd be getting on here.
Probably the one downtown.
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh,
meeting
wow.
downtown, oh, okay, the meeting downtown ended almost as soon as it started, which was very nice. We were probably out of there by 5:45.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Yeah, they just voted, well, they voted to override the veto,
Oh, fantastic.
Yay.
yeah, on the CDC funding. And then they also voted about the hiring the law firm to help with the redistricting. And so I'm not sure how that vote was, if it was in contention or what, but they voted on that again. And that was it. And then
Good.
everybody left, and there were probably about 100 people there sitting in the audience.
Wow,
Yeah, it was good.
that's great.
Great.
Very
Fantastic.
good. It was.
Thanks for the report, Barb.
Oh, I was happy to do it.
Yes, and there were 50 people online as well.
Good.
Wonderful.
I couldn't figure out how to get online.
Oh, did you not get the link, Kathy?
I thought I did. I went through all my emails, but I didn't see.
You got it from Ellen Stecker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got it from Ellen too. It was in the link. It was in the attachment. Yeah, I think that's what she said.
Well, we're going to wait a few minutes and then Elizabeth's going to get us started. But this slideshow is so much fun. And Jerry put this together and it's got hundreds of pictures in for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry.
And great job, Jerry. It brings back a lot of memories looking at those
It
pictures.
does.
It was a lot of fun to put it together.
I
Walk
bet it
down
was.
memory
You did a
lane.
great job.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Well, thank you all for being here for our virtual Friendraiser. We look forward to doing this in person next year, but we are pleased that you are here to celebrate our Making Democracy Work Award winner, Karen White, and also to celebrate and support the work of the League of Women Voters of the South Bend area. The League of Women Voters was formed in 1920 based on the fight for women's suffrage and the sense that even if women's suffrage was achieved, there would be much to do to educate and inform people so that they could cast their vote based on their personal and community interests. The central mission of the League is really the same as it was back then, empowering voters and defending democracy. The major change has been to embrace more people as part of the League and as full members and leaders across age groups, across genders, across racial and ethnic groups, but to really continue to focus on empowering voters and creating an informed electorate that can hold elected officials accountable. One of the things that we all see as we read the headlines or just observe what's happening around us in our own daily lives is the fact that we see a lot of attacks on democratic institutions, even on the legitimacy of the last presidential election. We see negative partisanship where people go to the polls because they hate, loathe, and distrust the other parties so much more than because they support anything in particular. This makes compromise elusive and pits neighbor against neighbor. And we see party polarization, both in an elite level, and often that now is starting to bleed down to the local level, where people look at each other with suspicion if they don't agree on every issue. This really makes the work of the League more important than ever, as we do promote civic dialogue and education for people across party lines. And we try to set up all of our forums, our debates, our voter guides, and our registration and mobilization events so that people can decide for themselves how to vote, and ideally that they will choose to talk with others, including those with whom they disagree. The issues we tackle, like voting rights and fair districts and diversity, equity, and inclusion, are critical to the future of our democratic republic. We are a nonpartisan organization. We are perhaps best known locally for our voter registration, education, and mobilization work, including some issue advocacy after careful study of the issues. We work collaboratively. We welcome your participation, and we thank you for being here to learn more about our work and to support our work. And for those who are already members, we look forward to talking with you more about how you might want to be engaged in the future. Those who are not yet members can support our work both through donating, and we'll put a link in the chat where you can do that directly, but also through joining. And we are open to both men and women, so everybody can join the League. Some of the things that we do is try to work at all levels. And so we work with high school students, we work with new citizens to get them registered and prepared to vote. And you'll also see us at diverse venues throughout the community, and we always welcome invitations. We accept all of those that we can, and the more volunteers we have, the more invitations we can accept to do this kind of voter registration or education work. We do host forums at all levels for local candidates, county candidates, state candidates, and national candidates, such as the 2nd Congressional District, as well as our Vote 411 guide, which is a nonpartisan online voter guide where candidates input their own statements about a range of issues, telling us, the voters, where they stand so that voters can cast an informed vote on election day. We're very proud of the work that we're doing to let people get to know the candidates on their ballot. And that is something we will continue to do in the future. But our work doesn't end after elections. Between elections, you can attend our monthly Lunch with the Leagues, where we focus on a variety of different topics. And you can also pick up a copy of our Citizens Guide to Representative Government, which gives you contact information for all of your elected officials and also tells you when public meetings are held and what the rules are for registering and voting voting. It even tells you all about our court system here locally in St. Joseph County. And so it's a very, very handy guide. So again, we're all about this nonpartisan civic and citizen education. And what we want to do is to reflect then on our past and our present. And as we think about the future, we'll take a moment to pause and think about our roots with a monologue by suffragist Anna Alice Chapin entitled At the Gates, and this evening it will be performed by Jessica O'Brien. Last year was the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, and as I mentioned, of the National and the local league. Our performer, Jessica O'Brien, is a senior at Indiana University pursuing a triple major in English, theater, and Spanish. Jessica is a native of South Bend and has been involved in theater since she played Annie when she was 11 years old. Her passion for performance has continued throughout her college career, where she has been everything from an actor to stage manager to assistant director. Jessica's love of storytelling was expanded this summer when she was a university relations intern at Notre Dame as part of the storytelling team. As the current director of marketing and communication for IU's student-run theater group, she's excited to apply all of the marketing skills she learned to help student organizations grow. After graduation, Jessica hopes to pursue a marketing role for a publishing company in New York, which would combine all of her passions. Today, she will be performing an excerpt from the play At the Gates by Anna Alice Chapin.
Are you proud, Senator? Are you proud of the Home Office? When you proved to us women that there is no such thing for us as fair and simple justice, you did a dangerous thing. Now, I'm not here to hold a brief for stone throwing. I have not a word to say against the police court sentences, if the authorities would remember that we are political offenders and should be treated as such. Besides, 5 days starvation is pretty heavy punishment for anybody, and no civilized government has the right to commit such an outrage. The last prisoner they tried it on died, and after that it was made illegal. Didn't the prison authorities have to come ask for a special mandate from the Home Office? Pretty picture, isn't it? I don't refer to the prison scene. That is revolting. What I do refer to is the protest made in that house, and the merry laughter of a lot of your members as they conjured up the scene and enjoyed the humor of it. They are supposed to be sent here as sufficiently representative men to be lawmakers. And you talk to me about letting them take care of us women, about the chivalry which we are destroying. The chivalry in many of your sex today is so dead that it needs to be buried in a pit with quicklime thrown over it because it is bound to breed a pestilence. I didn't need to have it proved to me that a lot of people behind these walls are unutterable cads. I've stood out there for 12 weeks, and I know. But you can be sure of this, that this government cannot wear us out or frighten us. It should have seeped into your intelligence by now. It is only because we are so convinced of the justice of our cause that we are so strong. Do you think that it's funny to be standing here in a sort of modern pillory? Do you think that the women who do this are enjoying it? But we know this, that we are working not only for the betterment of our sex, but of humanity. We realize that by uplifting womanhood, the whole race will be ennobled. And so, we are willing to withstand the impudent sneers of politicians who ought to know better, the vulgar chaff of the ignorant crowd who don't know better, and the savage abuse of the narrow-minded partisans who don't want to know better. We are willing to withstand all of this if only it will bring us a step closer to our ultimate goal.
We often think about our foremothers who fought in various movements for their rights, facing imprisonment, starvation, beatings, to try to bring about women's rights and civil rights in this country. And for League members, that means that we can, at a minimum, devote some of our time to protecting and strengthening the democracy that they fought for, as we continue to create a more perfect union and a more representative democracy here in the United States. And next, I turn it over to Barbara Milan, who will introduce Karen White.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We appreciate your comments on the importance of the system of our government. I am very pleased to have the opportunity to present the award tonight to Councilmember Karen White. Service to family, community, and education are the hallmarks of Councilmember Karen's journey. She was born in Buffalo, New York, relocated to South Bend at an early age. She attended Harrison Elementary School and graduated from Central High School, which is my alma mater. Go the mighty Central Bears. She received her master's in education that was earned from Indiana University. Karen is the Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Services, Dean of Students at Indiana University South Bend, where she has served more than 40 years in various capacity. Councilmember Karen has been honored to serve as an at-large council person since January 2000. From her early years on the South Bend Community School Board of Trustees until today as council member, Councilmember Karen has devoted over 28 years of her service to the community as an elected official. Karen's road to community service began while she was in high school and continued throughout her college and professional life. She is a firm believer in the tenet, as Marian Wright Edelman has stated, service is the rent we pay for living. She is the only African-American who has served both as the president of the South Bend Community School Board and as president of the South Bend Common Council. We appreciate your energy, your enthusiasm, and your leadership. We appreciate your ability to give voice to all the citizens of South Bend, Indiana. I would like to present to you the League of Women Voters of the South Bend Area 2021 Making Democracy Work Award for your participation and for the advancement of democracy and civic education. Thank you, Councilmember Karen.
Thank you, Dr. Milan and the women of the League of Women Voters. I am so touched and sincerely honored to receive such award for women that have fought for years for the right to vote and for women's rights. It means so much that you have taken the time to think of me and the work that I have done, will continue to do for our community. It has not been an easy year and a half for all of us. And we have seen some things that normally we would not have seen, but to know that we have the League of Women Voters and others within the community continue to do the work, to continue that, to ensure that our democracy remains, to make sure that voices are heard, and especially those without a voice, we become their voices. And I sit here on the shoulders of so many, and I just sincerely appreciate each and every one of you. And as the Lord continue to give me the strength, I will continue to do the work that he has commissioned unto me, and I do not take it lightly. So thank you so much. Such an honor coming from women that I admire and I respect, and that we together, we can make a difference, not only in our community, but within the nation as well. I've been emotional.
Well, thank you so much. We're thrilled to honor you with this award. And I am very pleased to be able to conduct a brief informal interview with you today, and really want to just chat with you a little bit about the work that you just mentioned, and also to thank you for talking with several of my students over the years who were interested in thinking about the role of women in politics. And you graciously have given your time to talk with them and to answer their questions. So thank you for talking with them in the past and for talking with me this evening, Karen. I want to start by noting that service to family, community, and education are the hallmarks of your journey. And I wonder if you can talk a little bit about your family and what lessons they taught you about service to others.
Thank you, Dr. Bennett. What can I say about my family? I come from a very large family of 12. I was second in the line of all of my siblings. I was born in Buffalo, New York. My family relocated to South Bend, Indiana when I was a very small child, and we moved on the lake. Now, I don't want anyone to think that it was the type of lake that you could go out and swim and you have this beautiful, scenery. It was not that type of experience. The lake was, we didn't have any sidewalks. Okay, there was a major dumping ground. The conditions that we experienced were not the conditions that I think one would want to grow up in. But what we had a sense of community and family. Everyone took care of each other. Everyone knew each other. So what my family may not have had, someone next door would provide. And so again, I was happy. I thought everyone lived the way that we did on the lake. And then we relocated to the west side. And I went to Central High School. And it was at that time that it became very clear to me that everyone did not live the way that we lived. And so that was quite an experience. I enjoyed being a student at Central High School, but it was a learning opportunity for me. And it opened my eyes up to see, wow, the world is different. When you live in a small community, you know everyone, and you've not been able to venture out, you think everyone lives the way that you do. And I was just like, oh, wow, this is a different world. So it was quite an experience for me, and it allowed me the opportunity to really begin to look at, okay, what's happening? Why is the world and society not how I have experienced or was experiencing? And what lens, do I begin to look at myself, and as well as making sure that I could begin to work within this type of environment, even as a high school student. So I was able to receive a scholarship. I went to a predominantly Black institution in Payne College, and that was just a tremendous experience for me. I had never been out of the state of Indiana. So when I got on the plane, I cried all the way to Augusta, Georgia. And then when I got there, the experience, and they taught more than just the academics. They taught that you had a responsibility to go back to your community, and because you were educated, that you had to give back. It was not an option for me. Give back my time, share my education, and my finances, that I was obligated because I was standing on the shoulders of others who fought and died so that I would have the right to have an education. I did not take that lightly. So when I returned back to South Bend, I was ready to get involved. I volunteered and I began to work because that's all I knew at that time. And some of the lessons that I've learned from my family was to get involved. Hard work will pay off. The way you speak and the things you say have power. Speech gives us power to create or to destroy. That your character is more important than your reputation. And someone said, no, your reputation. Reputation is what people think you are. But your character, what I was brought up with, is who you are. What comes out when your back is pushed against the wall? Who do they see? What caring comes forth? And so I was really taught to respect, work with integrity, and to always be as honest as one can be, and to understand that I had a responsibility. So those are some of the lessons that my family taught me, I'm sorry, but also in my experiences. And I, to always stay humble, because you don't want the Lord to humble you. You stay humble, And I come from a very Christian foundation, and that's part of who I am. I never have forgotten that, but also to respect and to treat individuals the way that you wanted to be treated. So that's a little bit about me and my 12 brothers and sisters.
Now, one of the things you said is that you really were taught that you had a responsibility to give back because you were given opportunity. And one of the things that you've stressed is the importance of making high quality education available to all people. You worked on the school board. You also worked at Indiana University. And how has education shaped your life, but also your sense of what we need to do as a community to make sure that others have the kinds of opportunities that you've had?
I think it's important that we ensure that education is accessible and that individuals receive high quality education. It should not matter what part of the city or what high school or undergrad or what elementary school that one might attend, but it's that quality that should not change. Just because one may live in a certain district within one's community, then the expectation is that you should have the same level of education. But that's not happening throughout. We know that there are a lot of challenges, a lot of the social, economic issues that impact education. But for me, it was education gave me the opportunity to experience life at a different level. It gave me the opportunity to really begin to branch out. And it gave me the opportunities for doors to be opened for me because I was an educated person.
No,
at least I thought I was an education person.
Absolutely. And you've served as an at-large council person since January 2000, after first serving on the South Bend Community School Board of Trustees. Many people have called you a voice of reason on the Common Council. What do you think this means? And is it hard to be a voice of reason in a politically polarized world?
I would say yes, yes, yes. It's very difficult, especially now in the environment that we are experiencing, especially after COVID-19. I was sharing with someone, it appears that we all, after COVID, and we're still in COVID, we went to sleep, we woke up the next day, and everything was just totally different. I stand amazed in regards to individuals not able to come to the table and have a discussion. I was brought up that you can disagree, but it is not personal. That is not the environment that we're currently operating in. The level of understanding the disparities and have an appreciation that there are some challenges within our community and within our world, that it doesn't become personal. I may not agree with you, but that does not make me become the enemy. or okay, I begin to attack you. And somehow we've lost that sense of coming together and having a discussion, being able to listen versus just hearing. Because if I'm hearing, I'm not listening to what you're saying. And we're so critical. At least that's been my experiences here lately. And being labeled with the voice of reason, that was during the school board times when we're trying to make a very difficult decision about Riley High School. And that was tough. You know, when you talk about public education, it takes on a different flavor sometimes. And during those early times, it was not an easy level of discussion. And, you know, individuals began to pull and have sides and just trying to pull all these different diverse opinions, viewpoints together so that we could work for the betterment of our students and our community. It was not easy. And I was just telling someone, you know, I saw that question. I said, well, I flunked that one this week. Okay. It's been tough, you know, but you have to continue, because I believe in our community. I believe in the work of the different individuals that we have. I believe in mankind. I believe that when you come together and you work and you talk, you listen, and that you have a commitment for the common good. And when we understand that it's not about me, it's not about me. It's about our community, our citizens, and especially our students. They need us now more than ever. And so how do we reach that commonality? How do we reach that common goal that we can come together and work towards it?
I think that really is a big question. As you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and the Me Too movement have pointed out a lot of the challenges faced by women and by people of color in this country. Some of the institutional barriers. You've said we don't all necessarily have equal opportunity. Now, some people, of course, have gotten involved in politics. They're sort of fired up by these kinds of movements, but others are convinced really that democracy doesn't work and the system's broken beyond repair. So what do you say to these folks who simply feel so discouraged that they want nothing to do with politics, voting, or political engagement of any kind?
You know, I think that as we look at the different entities and organizations that are now Black Lives Matter and the Me Too movement, they all have their place in our society. And I think that as we look at democracy, it is under attack, but it's not, in my opinion, at a level that we don't have a democracy. I think that there is broken, but anything that's broken can be put back together. And so as we look at all of these different viewpoints, and again, I think it points to a bigger issue. There's a place for every organization within our community. You know, Black Lives Matter, they have their focus is on social reform, you know, police reform, equity. Then you have another group, The problem is, how do we pull all these diverse opinions together where we are not fighting each other? And that's tough. That's tough. And I think that the most recent elections that we have experienced really illustrated all of the different viewpoints, but most importantly, that our democracy, from my opinion, is under attack. And so that now that we have that, we know that, what do we do about it? Okay, do we continue to become more polarized than ever? Or we say, I'm not going to talk to them. They don't know what they're talking about. It's just, you know, no, we've got to pull this back together. It's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy, but I think that we have to, it may have to be small, you know, pieces of it, working with this group, but I think that we need to do that as well. We need young people, okay? And we have a responsibility to start preparing them. Now, sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't, but they're not going to go about it the way when I was coming up. Okay, we had peaceful set-ins, we sat outdoors and we sang our songs and all that, but it's different now. So how do we take all of that and really focus on what's important? And that's to ensure our democracy works for all of us.
No, because we want to keep things moving along. We have another performance. We have some breakouts. I'll just do a couple more quick questions. But one, both African Americans and other people of color and also women are underrepresented as political office holders. So as we think about that solution and bringing people together, you have the experience of being the first African American to serve as president of the school board and the city council, both, that you did both of these things. So why do you think more women and minorities don't go into politics? And more importantly, what advice would you give to folks who are thinking about taking that leap?
I think that what happens, especially for African-American women and women at a much larger perspective, is that they don't see women in positions. And so that even though we've made major strides, some of the challenges that we face as we look into becoming elected officers, most of the positions are held by white males. They have the financial backing. They have the network that will work directly with them. And so some of the challenges that we face is one that we have to ensure and have a vehicle or a mechanism in place to begin to train and to begin to work with individuals to help them to prepare for becoming an elected officials. And again, it's education, it's helping. I tell everyone, if you want to learn more about what it takes to be an elected official, volunteer, get on someone's campaign, learn, make sure that when you do make the decision to run, it is your decision because you're the one that's going to have to move forward. Make sure that you got your house in order, okay? Because if not, it's going to come out. Make sure that you have a team that's willing to work with you. But most importantly, make sure you know what your platform is. Stay consistent. Whatever you say will continue to go with you. And make sure you're comfortable with yourself. And don't always think that everyone's going to embrace you. That's not going to happen. But if you know who you are and what you stand for, and if you are consistent, it will pay off. And so I think that there's some things that we can do to create, the opportunities for young women to really get into politics. If you look at what's happening recently, the door is wide open for us, okay? We don't have to kick that door down anymore. It's wide open. We just got to walk through it and be ready. And it's a fight, and you got to be tough because things going to be said about you. And I have walked into rooms. I'm the only African-American woman in there. And so, I said, no, you sit down, you get engaged. Okay. So that's what I've learned about it. And it's so important that we are at the table and we know why we're at the table and that we take on leadership roles. If something comes up, oh, okay, I'll take that on. I had that committee. And then I'm a very competitive person. People may not know that, but I'm very competitive. So if you tell me you can't do it or it can't be done, I'll stay up all night. I'm gonna get it done. And I work with a spirit of excellence. I don't shortchange anything, and I got to work on that. Even though I'm much older, I'm still competitive.
Well, I want to give you an opportunity to just offer some final closing thoughts, whether about how people can get engaged if they don't want to run or anything else you might want to share with us in this last minute or so.
Okay, I would like to say that any major movement that's happened in this country and any major organization from the churches on has happened because of women. Okay. We, no one has been able to come into this world, male, female, without coming through what? A female. So we have a very powerful position, and that we ourselves, that we have to step up, be committed. I'm not saying we haven't stepped up, but now is not the time to stop. Now is the time to push forward. And we have power, use the power of our voices. We need to speak up, and we need to take it. No one's going to give us anything. We're powerful enough to say, okay, we can take it, and make sure that our motives are clear, what we're fighting and why we're fighting, because it's a fight. I don't care what anyone say. It's not an opportunity you can sit down, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But when it's all said and done, we have to make sure that we know who we are, we know why we're doing what we do, and we understand that it's not about us. It's about our children, their children, generations to come, but also to make sure that this community is the very best because we are part of it. We have a responsibility.
That is a wonderful point to close on. We all, I think, share that sentiment that we want to do whatever we can to help make this community the best it can be. We thank you for your work in doing that over the last many, many years. So thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much, too.
Democracy Work Award.
Thank you, the League. I really appreciate it so much.
Now, speaking of the League, I'll just give you a reminder that you can donate. There will be a link in the chat online. I'll also remind you that you can contribute to our excuse me, Citizens Guide. Dry air. And let me sorry about that. And that you can actually stay a little bit after our next performance to socialize and network. There will be an opportunity to actually choose which group you want to go in. Will be an opportunity to chat informally with Karen, to talk with me a little bit about what the League's planning for election 2022, to talk with Pam Clays and Pam Wycliffe about homelessness and equity in housing in the St. Joseph County area, or to just socialize and network with Kathy Platt. So what I want to do now is to introduce Kevin Scott Joyner and Abby Joyner, who will sing for us this evening. Formed in the fall of 2011 by singer-songwriters Abigail and Kevin Scott Joyner, the Ember Jar has sought to find and refine their sound through the untethered exploration and fusion of diverse genres. Through this ongoing process, they've streamlined a style presented through dynamic arrangements supporting rich emotional vocals, a blend they refer to as soulful indie rock. Though the pair don't perform as often as they once did, they are agreeing to perform for us tonight, and we are absolutely thrilled. And they have an eye toward a full-length album to release in the near future, so we can keep an eye out for that. And so now we hear from the Ember Jar.
Evening, everybody. Can you hear us?
Yes.
That's good. All right. First of all, we're very honored to have been asked to do this. Molly Moon got in touch with us and told us about it, and we're like, yes, definitely. That sounds wonderful. Another quick congratulations to Karen. Loved hearing you speak. Congratulations on the award. So this first song we're going to do is it's about when you're kind of out there on your own and sort of trying to find your bearings, kind of looking within to your own inner strength, which is something that we all possess, and a little thing called Little Toy Boat. I'm a little toy boat floating on the open lake. Gotta watch out for each wave. Gotta watch out for each wake. I'm a little seashell rolling on the ocean floor. Might be headed out to sea. Might be headed into shore. I'm lost and found. I'm nowhere bound and nowhere anchored. I'm a little oak leaf tossed about upon the breeze, unceremoniously torn from the shelter of the trees. I'm a little dust mote riding on a ray of sun. Don't know where I'll come to rest when my journey's finally done. I'm lost and found. I'm nowhere bound and nowhere anchored. I'm a little space rock orbiting a distant star. You focus on the nearest light when you don't know where you are. You focus on the nearest light when you don't know where you are. I'm lost and found and turned around, afraid and unwound. I'm nowhere bound, nowhere anchored. Thank you.
Wonderful. You can see all the muted hands clapping. So beautiful.
All good. This isn't our first Zoom rodeo, so. I don't know if you could hear the stomping up above. That's our kid, Graham. He'll be turning 4 in December, and he's up there having a good time doing something. Yeah. Got the grandparents keeping an eye on him. All right, this next one is one that Abby wrote. You want to tell them a bit about it?
Sure, yeah. The song is called Stardust, and I wrote it basically about how we're all more alike than we are different. And I'm not as long-winded as Kevin.
Oh, throwing me under the bus. You could have just said you were shorter-winded.
I'm short-winded. I'm short and short-winded.
All right, let's see here. All right, I think we're good. Thanks again for having us, everybody. I'm very honored to be a part of this, and yeah, here we go.
to a place where we've been before. But now it's covered in stardust where we lay on a moonlit floor.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emberjar, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the future. We appreciate you performing for us this evening. It's a great way to close out our hour together and to think about those themes. We all want to be found and we all want to have that opportunity to do our best. And one of the ways that we hope you'll decide to do that is by joining the League or getting more engaged. And there will be an opportunity to talk with Membership Chair Judy Bradford about how to make the most of your League membership. And we have a number of other breakouts that you can do. Well, those will be really brief, about 10 minutes or so. I'll talk a little bit about what the League will be doing for election 2022. We have a variety of different options for you, including an option to chat more with Karen White, our Making Democracy Work Award winner, to learn more about homelessness and housing equity and what the League is doing in this regard, to really choose the talk that you would like to deal with for the next few minutes. And if you are not interested so much in a particular topic, or you can't pick just one, you can go to the social chat for some good old-fashioned networking, and that will be moderated by Kathy Platt. I want to thank all of the members of the fundraising committee who worked so hard to put this event together behind the scenes, and Jerry Pawelski for that slide show, which is wonderful. I'm sure we'll use it at future events because it's wonderful to see all those familiar faces. And we thank you for attending this evening.